Hello there. Now today I've got this Sony HANDYCAM camera on the bench. It's the model number DCR-SX15E. Now I bought it with some other stuff some time ago and it was faulty. It was a return item claimed under insurance. Now when you switch it on, all you get is a white display on the screen. Now I've done a little bit of research and I'm led to believe that it's a flex cable that comes from the board onto the display. I've managed to order one from eBay and it's this basically. Now for some reason I couldn't order one on its own, I had to order two. They come as a pair for some reason. It could be that they give you two because I know you've got to fold this and you might knacker it folding it. I don't know the reasons for it, but they're about £7 delivered from China. So we're going to go about replacing the flex cable on the camera today and hopefully we'll have a successful result. So let's crack on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is to take the battery off. Now once your battery is removed, we need to remove every screw in the case that you can see. You've got 3 on the side here, one just under the strap, one there, 2 in the back, 3 in the base, and 3 in this cover area. Now there are 2 more here that need to come out, but they're a different thread than these and need to be kept separate. This small screw here is also the same as these, so it's just these 2 you need to be kept separate and need to go back in the exact same position. So let's get them out. Now with all those screws removed, we've got these 2, which I said before were a different length and different type of screw. These are a self-tapping screw. I need to go back in this position. So we pull them out, keep them to one side away from the others. And we can also take this small screw out here. I think this is the same as the rest that are in the case. I can go with those. Yeah, that can go with the others. So once you've taken these out, the next thing you're going to need to do is to take this front off, and it just pulls out like that. And put that to one side. The next part we need to remove is this top cover, and it's just a case of pulling it out like that. It comes out, just clips out. Put that to one side. Now we need to get this part here that's under the cover. Some rubber pads come off with it, just bear with me. Right. Now to remove that, you've got a screw just there. That's the same screw that's in the case, so they can go with that. So once you've taken that off and let it hang there, the other screw we need is just down there and down there at the bottom. So we just remove them and it's another of what the longer screws, so that needs to go with the other two that were to be kept separate, because they're a different length and different type of thread. They're a self-tapping screw, and this one's the same. There it is. So keep that separate from the others. Now once you've got that apart, you can take this front away. Now before you go mad pulling, unplug the speaker. That will allow it to come back this way. Just unroot it like that. Then you can unclip the flex cable here, and it's just a case of pulling it out, and you can put that now to one side, so you're just left with the screen and the side. So the next thing that we need to do is to remove this case, and if you look just there, there's a screw which is the same as the ones that you took out the case in, so that can go with those. Just turn the screen round so you can get at it. That's the other one, the same as the ones that were in the case. And now we need to separate the back from the front. I got one of these little plastic tools. Just run it along. And the back will just pop off like that. Put it to one side. Now this, once you took that little screw out there, this will come out. Take that out, pop it to one side, and now you can see the root of your flex. This small piece here, bit of plastic, that just pops out like that and flies across the room. I'll have to go and retrieve that in a minute, but that's how it comes across from one side to the other. So now it's just a case of removing it. So if you look here, there's a little tab you need to pull up to release it, just on a little hinge, and then you can pull that out. Now the old flex is going to be bonded in places to the actual casing, like it is here now. I didn't want to damage it taking it off, because I wanted to use it as a template to fold the new one. Let's see if I can get it off without knackering it. Ah, there we go. We're getting somewhere. There you go. Now, this has got to be coiled round here when we reassemble it to allow it to, the screen to turn. So it's important that you know how many turns there are. I'm looking at it. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get this out of the way. How does that work? And comes out the back. Oh, there we go. Just pull it out the back. So now you can see how it's coiled around the hinge, if you like, and it looks like it's just one. Wait a minute, I moved. Well, actually only looks like a couple of turns around it. Yeah, I think it's just a couple of turns. Yeah. It's a bit of a fiddly thing to get off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'd say it was a couple of turns that. Anyway, we'll find out when we can put the other one on. So, let's get the other one prepared, and then we can start putting this back together. Right, so all we've got to do now is make this resemble this by folding it. So this is going to be interesting. I've also found out where the actual failure is on this old ribbon, and it's just there. It's actually on one of the folds where it's fractured. So obviously it's a weak spot where you fold it, so you're going to have to be careful when I fold the new one. So let's see. Try and work out how best to do this. So we start this end, I think. So looking at it, it folds something like that. And then I take it they're supposed to meet there. So it goes something like that, I think. So I'm assuming that underneath there, that is a piece of like tape that we can peel off and stick that one to that one. We'll try it. Ah, yeah. So if I bring that in line, so the holes line up. Oh Christ, they don't, do they? No. Oh no, it's stuck as well, really good. That's a bit of a balls up. Now I know why they send you two. So that one bonds to that one. Let's see if we can do this one a bit better. and then that, I believe, will turn something like that, maybe, I don't know. Let's have a look. Don't see how that turns there. It comes down straight. Oh, I see. That goes like, where the hell can that go like that? It turns immediately in on itself. But that would be facing the wrong way, because that will go, yes, that goes like that, and then that sticks on there. Okay. Now then, I think we put that there. Well, we've got it sort of like that. It isn't brilliant. It's not exactly like the old one, but it's about as good as it's going to get, I think. So let's have a go at putting it on. Right, to make reassembly a bit easier, we're going to remove this screw here. Now, as you can see, that's a different screw to the casing ones, so just put that to one side, and then we can take the hinge off like so. So what we need to do is take our flex and it needs to go round a couple of times, I think it is. Before, I'll just hold it there a second and we'll fetch it round. So it'll end up like that. Now I think that's enough wrap, so basically what I've done, I've put it on, I've come round and come back to the top like so, and I think that's going to be something like, yeah, that should allow it to twist okay. Yeah. So with that, now we can put this back on. Just shoot that in, hold it there, get our little screw. Hold on. Put it back in the hinge. Just try that into the plug. So just lift the lever up and pop one end in. Now I'm not folding these as tight as they were on the original because you're asking for a fracture. So I think by the time that's down there now, we're about right. And possibly could afford another turn on that actually. Let's have a look. That's supposed to be inside. Get in there. There you go. It does seem a bit tight actually. Oh. Okay, so once you're happy with that, you can take the back of your sticky stuff off. There's a pin in the back side. And put it where it's going and come on, stick it down. And now you've got the same arrangement here on the top. So just peel that off, get it in position, line it up and stick it down like that. And then bring it round. Now I don't know whether no, there is. Now that should stick there. Fetch it around the corner. I'll stick it there. Something like that. So let's peel that off. Okay, fit it around the corner. Line it up with those two little nibs there the best you can. That's it, that's in. Now that little bit of plastic that's shot off, which is that, can go back on now. And it just needs to be coaxed over it like that, like so. So we've got the full range of movement on there. A little bit fiddly, but once you've done one, I think you would do another one a bit quicker. I mean, it's a bit of a pain in the backside, to be fair. One thing I will say is where these folds are, I haven't done them anywhere near as tight, as I said earlier, as what these are, because you're asking for it to fracture. So all we need now is to put it together. So let's crack on and then we can see if it's secured the fault. Now before you go sticking this cable down here, it's important that you put this piece back in, otherwise you can't get it in, as I've just found out. I've just had to undo it and undo this part here and pull it back while I slip this piece in. So that's something to bear in mind when if you come to do one yourself. Now all that's left now really is to put it together, but before I do, I'm just going to test it before I fully reassemble it. So I'm going to plug in the flex cable back onto the board here, which is just a case of lining it up with the slot, pushing it in. Now we'll just take our battery, stick it on. Ah yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's working. So I'm pleased with that. Right, well, we'll crack on and get it reassembled. So let's take the battery back off and just, well, we can leave that plugged in, I think. All we need to do now is get your speaker cable and look for that little aperture there and feed it through. Where is it? Just here. Just grab it with the end of your screwdriver until you get your plug showing, and then grab your plug, pull it through, and then there's a little retainer there that it just oops round and comes round to where you'll plug into the board. Now before we do that, we need to put this bottom one back on. So I'm just going to let that cable find its own way as we go. I don't want to put any strain on it, so I'm just going to kind of loop it, something like that perhaps, and then push this over. Okay, that's on. Now we'll plug our speaker in, so just pull the rest of the cable through, and the speaker plugs back in there where you took it from before. So it's just like that. And now that cable, well, that's, I thought it was perhaps a bit, but I don't want to bend it anymore really. Should be okay like that. We now need to put the two screws back into, which are the ones, the long ones. So just go through. Oh, come on. That's one. The other one is at the top. Where the hell's that gone? Drop the little bugger. There it is. Try again. There we go. Right, so we're all back together, all the screws are back in. As you can see, the screen is now working, which is what we were looking for. Bit of a fiddly job. Whether I've used the correct method, there may be a better method than I've used, but I've got the result that I wanted. So I hope that's been of some help to you. Many thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.